everybody. Welcome to a very special celebration. I'm so excited to share with you that today is the day that my team and I, and hopefully a lot of you have been waiting for. It's the launch of my new book, The Awakened Way, Making the Shift to a Divinely Guided Life, published by Hay House. It's been available for pre-order for about 3 months now, but we've been waiting for this day so that now it's available to everybody who ordered it on Kindle. Today you can read it. Those of you who got the Audible version, today you can hear me reading it to you. Some of you will actually get it in your mailbox today, depending on when it's shipped, but others can be expecting it any day now to show up at your home. So how exciting is that? It's been a crazy morning here at the Giesemann house. Ty is upstairs keeping the dogs quiet, or he would be down here to say hi to everybody, but they go a little bit crazy. They can feel the excitement, the energy in the air. They know something's up because my phone has been exploding with texts from so many wonderful memories of members of my Awakened Way community, from my team of helpers on my staff. They've seen us walking around getting things like this. This is going to be opened this evening. Too early in the day for that right now, but a lovely bottle of champagne. And then the doorbell rang, and that always sets my dogs off. And it was this gorgeous bouquet of flowers from my staff, from everybody on my staff. And you want to know how thoughtful they are and creative. Look, they made it so that the colors match the book cover. Is that cool or what? Absolutely gorgeous flowers. And so I want to thank, first and foremost, Ty, my husband, who is so willing to have me disappear into my computer whenever I'm writing a book and get so focused that I don't hear anything, and time just seems to go into a time warp. I just love him with all my heart, and the book is dedicated to him. And then I want to thank my beautiful staff, Bev and Lynette and Stephanie and Valerie and Jayesh. They are just a godsend. Every one of us working from the heart for all of you. So my next thank you is to Hay House for believing in me, for believing in this project. Amy Kyberd, Sally, Pip, Riley, Sabrina, Felicia, who am I forgetting? Brittany. What a wonderful team. I had a book published with Hay House years ago called The Priest and the Medium, but it wasn't about me. It was about medium and Gaiman. So this was before I even knew I would one day be a medium. And my dream was to be a Hay House author. In fact, I would sit in meditation and say, I am a Hay House author, practicing manifestation techniques. And I became that Hay House author with The Priest and the Medium. But that was, like I said, over 10 years ago. So I've been waiting for just the right book for Hay House. And I'm going to share with you today in this special live celebration a special moment with Spirit that let me know this book was going to happen. And I'm going to read to you a couple excerpts from the book, kind of like having your own live version of Audible, the audiobook, but we'll do it together. The special moment is that I, again, wanted to be a Hay House author with my own how-to book, which is what The Awakened Way is. I've written several biographies, my own memoir. I have books of inspired messages from my guides, but so many people would come up to me at my workshops and my classes and events and conferences and say, which of these books should I read that's going to help me connect with Spirit? Which of these books is going to help me find the peace and the joy? And my books, all of the other ones, have that in it, but not the actual how-to, not the actual description of why it's possible for us to connect, because we're souls. So that's what this book, The Awakened Way, has. And I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But I went into meditation and I talked to my guides as I finished this book. And I said, look, I know that you have the bigger picture, and I know that the right publisher is out there, but I would really like it to be Hay House because they work from the heart. It's the exact kind of book that they do, the kind of books that this one was. And then I called on a friend of mine, Wayne Dyer, who is in Spirit, as many of you know. He wrote a beautiful endorsement for 2 of my books, Messages of Hope and Wolf's Message. And In fact, I manifested that friendship with Wayne Dyer. After I achieved that first Hay House book, I went into meditation and said, I am on a first name basis with Wayne Dyer. And eventually it happened. He came to my house for a personal reading, and that's how those other two endorsements came about. But I know that once we get to the spirit world, we can really pull strings better than we can here. So I called on Wayne and I said, if this book is meant to be, and if Hay House is the right publisher for it, I would love your help. Thank you so much. I felt his presence. I can tell when he's near. He's come through several times since he passed. But the big fun moment happened the next morning. Let me pull this up so I can show you. I get daily messages from Spirit. Many of you have my free Awakened Way app, and you get those messages every day or in your inbox by email through my website. I get them in meditation. I come downstairs and I sit right there on that couch that you see behind me, and I type them up and post them on the app and on my website. So that morning, after talking to Wayne Dyer, I came and I sat down here. I pulled up my computer to post it. I have never watched a Wayne Dyer YouTube video. Never. I didn't need to. I talked to him personally in spirit. And on my computer, this is a screenshot, pops up a YouTube video with this picture. This is actually from that moment. You ready for the name of this video? Relax, in capital letters, and you will manifest anything you desire. I knew from that moment that Spirit was at work, that this was going to flow. And as I say in the book, when you're in the flow, when your heart's in the right place, things fall into place. And everybody connected with this book from its inception to making it a reality has their heart in the right place. And the kind of flow that we have experienced with this is my dream for all of you. It's why I'm so excited, because the joy that my team and I have found from living the Awakened Way is life-changing. Am I like this all the time? Am I joyous and excited? Well, most of the time. My parents call it my enthusiasm. But not always, because life can be bumpy. And boy, that's the perfect lead-in to the excerpt that I want to share with you, the first excerpt. The book is arranged so that you don't have to read it from beginning to end. It's not necessarily linear. You can read a little bit of the first part, which is the background foundation to understand who you really are as a soul, not only human. And then you can skip right to part 2, which has 24 practices and exercises to help you integrate this awareness that you are a soul, to help you connect yourself with higher consciousness, whether that's your loved ones who have passed, guides, angels, famous people across the veil. The tools here apply to connecting with any aspect of higher consciousness. But this one excerpt I want to read from part 1, I'll need my glasses for this, comes at a point in the book where I talked about going for a mountain bike ride with my husband one day when I was really exhausted. I knew that getting out in fresh air and getting the energy moving was going to help me to revive myself rather than just lying around on the couch all day. Well, the mountain bike ride, it's nice if you're into mountain biking, you know what a whoop-de-doo is. Nice flowy ride with a little bit of bumps. We call them whoop-de-doos because that's how you feel when you go over them. But this ride turned out to be full of rocks and roots and bumps, and I got upset, as I tell in the book, and I said, this is supposed to be relaxing. And in that moment, I heard this booming voice say, it's a mountain bike ride, for God's sake. And I started laughing, and I got the message that this life is not all joyous and full of fun and joy like we're having today. It's full of bumps and rocks and roots. And so that's the preface to the excerpt that I'd love to share with you now, okay? Earth School is not a reform school. You did not come here to learn your lessons because anything is lacking. This is a human innovation laboratory for the spacious awareness of the soul, which is already whole and complete. You came here to enjoy the fullness of the creative experience. In the process, any growth you experience adds to the growth of humanity as a whole. What better way could there be for humans to evolve than in an environment of trial and error where free will stretches and pulls against rigid rules? This creative tension results in an inner urge to progress ever onward, ever upward through winding curves and over the occasional whoop-de-doos. You, the soul, arise from the boundless potential of pure being. Moment by moment, the absolute is bursting with creativity that simply must be expressed, and you are the result. Artists, composers, and writers know the irrepressible impulse that bubbles and percolates, churns and gurgles until they absolutely must mold thoughts and ideas into manifest creations. As above, so below. At the soul level, you made the conscious choice to funnel your creative potential into a body. The brain, heart, nervous system, and earthly environment provide limitless opportunities for the soul that are not possible in your formless state. You, the soul, can use your amazing body to fling paint at a blank canvas, to sing off key at the top of your lungs, to dance barefoot in the moonlight, and to cut, carve, and compose, taking ideas and concepts and creating something more beautiful from what already has been birthed in awareness. That's you. That's all of us. That's what I hope you take away from this book, this knowing that is already in your soul that you are magnificent already. And I know we don't feel like that all the time because we are also human. So this is not exactly a self-help book. It's what I call a higher self book to show you this important part in the subtitle, how to make the shift to a divinely guided life. Because this is what's lacking in some self-help books, that they deal with the problem here from the earthly human perspective. That's where our challenges are. This book, The Awakened Way, shows you how to shift to soul awareness and integrate that into every moment of your human life. So many practical tools about reminders, about how to remember you are not only human. I could go on and on. I'm so excited about this book. So, wow, let me take a breath for a second, make sure I'm not forgetting anything I wanted to share with you. There was one thing, and it's, okay, my guides are saying make the shift because you're forgetting what you wanted to say. I got it. Thank you. It's that thanks to all of you, the final group I want to thank first and foremost, for those of you who pre-ordered the book. The book is already a bestseller on Amazon. And not only that, the book is just launching today, and Hay House has already gone into the third printing. It's just one in a series of miracles that surrounds this work, and it is miracles that I wish for all of you. Second excerpt, let me read that so you have a feel for part 2 and how we get into the exercises. I like to lace the book with stories. There are a lot of what I call no other explanation moments, NOE moments, on my journey to help you understand that the greater reality, the spirit world, is absolutely real. Always my stories are laced with evidence when I interact with higher consciousness. This particular story was just an interaction with a couple of neighbors, but it lends itself to the lesson here about energy. Understanding that energy can remain in a space long after an event occurred can explain why you might experience inappropriate emotions and moods that have no apparent cause. Has that ever happened to you? Like, why am I so irritable? I should be happy today. Remember, not every thought or feeling is your own. As an example, my husband and I once received a dinner invitation to the home of new friends in our community. We followed directions to their house, and to our surprise, discovered they had bought the home of another couple we used to socialize with. We had attended several parties in the house and knew it well. When our new friends greeted us at the door, we told them about our familiarity with their home. I revealed that the previous owners had gone through a very nasty divorce, which is why they sold the house. The couple shared a look of surprise, followed by dawning comprehension. They informed us that they normally got along very well, but they had inexplicably been at each other's throats for the first month in their new house. They had attributed the bickering to the stress of moving, yet they had moved several times before with no such problems. With this new information, they understood that there was nothing wrong in their relationship. They had simply picked up the lingering negative energy from the previous owner's interactions. It had taken a month for their positive, loving energy to override the stale, lower energy left in the house. Wow, I can see a bunch of light bulbs going off with some of you like, my gosh, okay, so how do I clear out the energy? And I talked about in the next part of that chapter, learning that lesson from doing hundreds and hundreds of private readings for clients in one room in my house and not realizing I had to clear the energy, the effects of that and the noticeable effects after I learned how to clear the energy. So in that chapter, I teach several methods for how to make sure that energy in spaces and energy within yourself does not affect your moods, and how to quickly re-energize and recharge your batteries when you're not feeling yourself, when you're off balance. So this book is a gift from spirit, really. That first section I read to you, I don't normally write quite that flowery. When I read it myself on Audible for the audio book, I just had to blink and say, that was a cooperative writing engagement with spirit. It's not exactly channeled, but definitely in the flow. And it's my hope for you that as a result of reading The Awakened Way, you will find yourself being enthusiastic more often throughout the day. You will find yourself in the flow because you will be remembering you are not only human, you are also a soul. And the most important part of all, you are so very loved. Thank you for joining me to celebrate this day of the launch of The Awakened Way. I'm just so grateful for all of you who are part of our Awakened Way community through Facebook, through my monthly webinars, through other groups that you have formed as a result of being in my classes, for being messengers of hope with me and spreading the ripples throughout our world. So please spread the word about this book if you know anybody who's in need of it. I wrote it specifically for about 3 different groups of people. Number one, those who are grieving the loss of a loved one and want to know how to find joy again and to know that your loved ones are with you. Number 2, for those who are simply in despair for any reason and may even want off the planet. You will find hope, you will find tools, you will find out you are never alone. And thirdly, for anyone who's been on the spiritual path for a while, seeking and seeking, and finally wants to stop seeking and really get it. And even if you already get it, you will read this and feel the higher energy from those who helped me write it. And all of us will be transformed as a result. I love you all so much. Thank you for celebrating with me. Wish you were here this evening for a glass of champagne, but you know, ultimately we know we're all connected, so I will feel your love coming right back at me then as I send it to you. You go out and have a great day.